It is 6:30, call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum with Kate Hens here and Tyson Harold being absent. And Katie's a grandmother one more time, so congratulations to her.
Today's her birthday, too.
And today's her birthday.
Oh.
And it's Yom Kippur. So
Got
got a triple hitter.
triple hitter.
All right, at this point, we will begin discussing the September 20th regular board meeting agenda items. Dr. Randall.
The first item is we ask the board to authorize the superintendent to submit a class size waiver to the agency. We do this each year, and we added and you should have an addendum at your table where we're adding Humanek to the group for third grade. The next item, we ask the board to approve out-of-state travel for Foster High School Band to travel to Orlando, Florida. The next item, we ask that the board approve a partnership agreement with Texas A&M University for the Advanced Texas program with Lamar CISD. This is where we have a facilitator that they provide.
How successful has this been?
It really was a big help when we weren't able to cover both George Ranch and Terry. And so when we had the facilitator from Texas A&M, we were able to then share that position at Terry and then add another one down to George Ranch.
Good. Thank you.
The next item, staff is going to talk to you just a little bit about considering pairing grade 6, 7, and 8 grade data for state reporting and accountability purposes on STAR.
The recommendation is that the Board of Trustees approve the pairing of these three grade levels for the purposes of state accountability. There is no impact basically in terms of the names of schools, the principals, etc. It's a data reporting piece to the state of Texas when it comes to the data that's accrued through the STAR assessments in reading and mathematics in those grade levels. At the end of this past school year, there were only 32 sixth grade campuses out of over 1,146 in the state of Texas that were standalone in their reporting. Of those 32 sixth grade campuses, 3 were disciplinary placement centers. 1 earned a domain 2A grade equivalent of a C. 6 earned a 2A grade equivalent of a D. 17 had an F, and 5 are charter schools. The reason for this is that a campus that's a standalone grade level that's evaluated, particularly obviously it's a transition campus, does not have the data behind it to support the impact of the current accountability system. This has not been the case in the past. It evolved through the new accountability system. The state does not allow any campus nor any district to receive an A if they even have one area that receives an improvement required area. On a sixth grade standalone campus, it is statistically extraordinarily difficult to achieve all areas and not have one because of the size of the sampling that's going in for processing at the state level. Mr. Moore is here to give you more details on the statistics. I will not be going into that part of the discussion, but if you have any questions, we'll be glad to answer them.
This is analogous to if we were in a classroom and we had 10 students to a teacher, and we said to that teacher, in order for you to be considered proficient, you have to get 8 students to pass the STAR test. But then the state comes back and says 3 of those students can't count. Either they're new to Texas or they are English language learners and are testing in English for the first time, or there may be special needs students who have been in a placement that's different than what they had in elementary school for the first time. there's no way that you can achieve that outcome of reaching 80%. Well, when you combine that class with 2 other teachers, and you raise that number from 7 students that are eligible up to 27, you can easily achieve 80 or even a 90% success rate. And that's the situation we have here. Mathematically, we're accountable to all the students that are at that campus, but there's going to be a certain percentage of students, because of the way the STAR is configured, that will never be able to count in that indicator. With only 32 campuses left in the entire state of Texas that are 6th grade only campuses for accountability, it's setting a situation where we're almost set up for failure.
Did we discover this, or did the state point this out? We discovered it.
We discovered it.
Yes,
The other districts have all gradually been taking this step. I think we're the last ones in this area that have not already done so. We waited until this year to kind of assess how the statistics of it were going to work out.
Do the other districts have any choice if they have 6th, 7th, and 8th grade campuses all in one?
A lot of times, they'll take either two approaches. Either they'll have the 6th grade students separate and then 7th and 8th at a different campus physically, or they'll combine them all under one roof. But for purposes of honoring our historic promise to have a 6th grade only center, we felt it better just to combine it on paper instead of changing the way we've done business.
No, well, my question is let's say, for example, a neighboring school district has 6th, 7th, and 8th grade on one campus.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have a choice to separate it out?
They do.
They do, okay.
Every district and every board has the ability to configure
I'm sorry,
things.
what I'm saying is, do they have a choice to separate the accountability part out if all of those students are on one campus?
Yes.
They do,
They
okay.
do. Because that's up to each individual board of trustees.
Okay.
But they wouldn't do that because they would be putting themselves
Right.
at a disadvantage.
Right.
There is a high school in Aldine, I believe, with 3 different physical addresses.
Actually, Galena Park.
Right.
Galena Park operates North Shore at 3 different physical addresses. There's 3 high schools in Conroe ISD that have 9th grade centers. They're at physical addresses that are different, but they still combine the data to appear as one campus.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. The next item is considered ratifying the finance and investment reports. The next one is to review and accept the district's certificate of excellence in finance reporting. The finance department again has achieved that goal.
Well done.
The next item asks the board to approve the resolutions proclaiming Custodial Workers Recognition Week. Approve a resolution proclaiming Red Ribbon Week. Approve a resolution proclaiming School Bus Safety Week. Approve a resolution proclaiming School Lunch Week. And approve a resolution proclaiming Human Resources Day.
Human Resources only gets 1 day?
One day.
That's all the time they have.
That's it. The next item, we're asking the board to approve the board policies. On first reading, a resolution to board policy EHDC, officially naming the University of Texas and Texas Tech as approved providers for credit by examination for the district. And then on second reading is local policy update 110 and 111. The next item, we're asking the board to approve the rankings of architects established in March 2016 and authorize the superintendent to begin bond 2017 contract negotiation for architect services.
I have a question.
Yes.
I realize that we would like to move forward so that it decrease our costs, but can you tell me on which schools it would affect?
BLK will be your elementary schools, TBK
Okay.
will be the
Secondary
secondary
complexes.
campuses.
Okay, so we're still going with 1 and 2?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
They
that's
have-
right.
They have the designs, and we have the reduced fee because of the repeat
Repeat.
designs.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
That was easy, wasn't it?
The next item, we ask the board to approve change order number 1 to the construction contract with C.A. Walker Construction in the amount of $154,709 and authorize the board president to execute the change order. The next item, we ask the board to approve the CenterPoint Energy electric easement at Carter Elementary. The next item, we ask the board to approve VFP Fire Systems for district security and fire alarm monitoring in the amount of $26,880. Next item, we ask the board to approve the request for proposal for construction manager at risk for high school number 6 and junior high school number 6 to Dramala Construction Company in the amount of $200,000 for pre-construction services, a construction manager at risk fee of 1.67%, and a general conditions fee of 3.48%. We ask that the board approve micro-integrations for the purchase and installation of technology systems for the support services facility in the amount of $72,842.35. We ask that the board approve the purchase of security cameras, installation hardware, network cabling, and installation services in the amount not to exceed $40,000.
And this, I'm sorry, is this just for whatever needs across the district, not specifically in one place? Or did I miss that?
There are currently 5 campuses that have requested, or 5 sites that have requested
Oh, okay, so it's
additional
requests.
cameras. Yes, ma'am. The principals or director have requested
Got
it.
it.
And then there is some additional for as needed as more requests come up.
Thank you.
What are the schools?
I'm sorry?
What are the 5?
Agbarn 2, ALC, Bowie, I've got it all right in front of me. Lamar High. Did I say 5? Agbarn 2.
Yeah, the kitchen serving line.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry,
Terry.
thank you. And the new serving line at Terry. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item, we ask that the Board of Trustees approve the purchase of wireless access points, installation hardware, network cabling, and installation services in the amount not to exceed $25,000. The next item, we ask the board to approve the purchase of network hardware, installation hardware, network cabling, security cameras, and installation services for Lamar Consolidated High School Aquaponics Lab in the amount of $17,788.
They stealing our lettuce and fish?
Well, we're trying to catch them if they do. The next item, we ask the Board of Trustees to approve the appraisers who have recently become qualified as new LCISD appraisers. And Dr. Mosich is the person that we're asking this to approve. Those are the action items, Mr. President.
Do we have any audience patrons on the action items?
There are none, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. We'll go into the information items.
And we do have a presentation on strategic planning. All of you all know Lindsay with Holsworth. By now, she's a fixture with Lamar CISD. So,
Good evening. Thanks for having us. We just wanted to come back. I know the board has reviewed the plan for strategic planning, and we've been working closely with the staff to put some more detail around those operations. So wanted to provide some visibility into that with the board and also give you an opportunity to ask questions and provide any feedback. So first, in terms of the team from Holdsworth, who will be working with Lamar on this project, in addition to myself, I'm joined with Brian, Melanie, and Jake. So you'll see our faces in combination over the course of the next 7 months. This we've already talked about. When we talk about strategic planning, just want to anchor around 2 big goals. So first is the product. Really at the end, we want to have a 5-year vision that really outlines the 3 to 4 key priorities that can orient all stakeholders' work in Lamar CISD. But the second piece that's really critical is the ownership of the process. And so as we talk about this first stage of the work, it's really critical that all stakeholders in Lamar view this as their strategic plan. And so as we talk about the listening tour, in addition to clarifying that vision and those key priorities, what's really critical is that all of the folks on this page have an opportunity to provide input and to feel ownership in the product. So the first step in this process is really the listening tour, which is what we're undertaking in the next several months. Here, the goal is to hear from the community. What are the key strengths that they want to maintain in the district? Where are those opportunities for growth that need to be addressed over the next 5 years? And what's really the vision for where the community wants to be? Identifying those couple of themes, so 3 to 4 things that will be big priorities for the district, then we'll form a committee who will work to develop those into some goals, some high-level goals, and then at the end, an opportunity for feedback and adoption of the strategic plan. So as we move into the listening tour phase, which is what's coming next, there's a number of ways we're going to seek feedback from all of those stakeholders that we talked about, but all of it's really structured around these key questions. What do you want Lamar to be? What are the strengths that need to be built on? What are those areas for growth? Throughout the process, we'll work Holdsworth with district leadership to constantly be consolidating what we're hearing from staff, from the community, from parents and caregivers, from students, so that you're constantly able to access that information from the community throughout the process. And ultimately, we've devised 3 strategies for collecting this input. So one is a survey, which will be available to all of the stakeholders in the community and communicated broadly through Mike and his team. There will be some targeted communication to staff, both to hear directly from them and because they're such critical communicators to the community. And then finally, some open community meetings. There will be 10 of those between early October and the end of December to ensure that there is sufficient opportunity for input and voice across all of those stakeholder groups. So those will be 2 in each color track. And again, targeting parents, community members, parents, staff, students. And currently these are the dates that are proposed and those locations. So I wanted to provide those to the board to facilitate your participation in those sessions. We'll be looking to bring updates on a monthly basis to the board about the process, but welcome any questions or feedback that you have at this time.
And we will begin this evening at 7:30 with the first listening session of the board.
That's right.
That's our special session a little later on. So thank you so much. That's an exciting process, and I think it's really great, the involvement of the community, the number of people you have in this. I think that's a great thing to do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does the board have any questions regarding tax collection report? Payments of construction projects? 2014 or 2017 bond updates? Available bond funds? Transportation?
A quick question on transportation. When we initiated this report, we had issues that were coming to the board regularly, and we asked for this report. As Mr. Jones says, he wanted to become invisible, and he's pretty well done that with this board. So my question, and we sort of set that report up by consensus. I don't like having reports and burning the paper unless we're doing something with this. This gets down to the day-to-day operations of a lot of this. So my question to the board, would you like to continue to see this, or would you just as soon drop this one from a regular report?
Is this a vote, or is this a?
Consensus.
I'd be good with doing without it.
Doing without it?
Yeah, feel it's necessary.
Catherine? You're the minority in this consensus.
Maybe like every quarter,
Quarterly?
a quarterly report.
That'd be good.
We all want.
I just don't want to lose total information from you, because like when you're doing your trainings, and I'd like to keep up on all that, but maybe just quarterly
All right.
this year?
Move it to quarterly basis where you don't have to do this every month.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Day.
Thank you, board members, appreciate it.
And then the last item is school conserving resource program, which is referenced as SCORE. They will be here to present a check to the board in the amount of $88,961.61.
We'll have that in the, we'll move that up into the recognitions awards section on Thursday.
Can I ask a question, perhaps? How is it that we were able to earn that or be awarded that?
He's been waiting to be.
Well, I'm so
He
glad
has
I asked.
waited a long time for this. So.
Spotlight drops on.
And I hope I can do the correct thing and answer correctly. Centerpoint offers a program, and it's called SCORE, and it's based on savings, but it's based on savings on things that we do that are energy efficient. Several years ago, we did a bunch of lighting retrofits, and they basically, based on the efficiencies and a long formula, come up with this amount of money. This particular check is what we did. We had a LED project for all the exterior lights in the district. We are wrapping that up. Centerpoint and SCORE, Clear Result, wrapped their report up already and are done and are ready to present the check this year. Last year, if you recall, about this time, we did a chiller project for 8 chillers, and for that 8 chillers, we got a little over $65,000. So this year for the lighting, and that's not quite 10% of the project. I think the project for lighting was a little over $1 million, and so we're getting $88,000.
But essentially, we're also saving money through this.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, right.
Yeah.
That's the whole purpose.
Everything that
Right.
we did is driven by Centerpoint,
Right.
and they want us to save money, and by doing the installs based on operating and just using LEDs, they're a lot more efficient, which in the end saves us money.
Basically, they're paying us for not putting more demand on their system. They do not have to invest in more generation facilities if
Right.
in fact we reduce the energy consumption. Demand is with it.
That is correct.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's great.
And those are all the items, Mr. President.
All right. I do not believe we have anything for a closed session this evening. Any other questions, comments from the board? If not, we'll call this meeting adjourned at 6:54, and we will reconvene at 7:30 in room 112C. Thank you very much, everybody.